Cancer, what's going on with you? Come on in, have a seat, make yourself comfortable. My name's Alan Hill from UnknownTruthTarot.com. Welcome back to another Cancer love reading. Today we're going to take a look at the status of the love connection between you and your romantic person of interest here in November 2025. So let's get one card for what's the mutual point of interest between Cancer and their romantic person of interest here in November. All right, what's going on with you, Cancer? What's going on with Cancer as it relates to their person of interest and the connection between them? Well, this one looks like it's going to be easy. Not even getting to finish my sentences, which is no problem. That's less talking I gotta do. What's going on with your person, Cancer? What's going on with Cancer's romantic person of interest as it relates to Cancer and the connection between them in November 2025? Okay. We got extra cards. I'm putting this one back because it didn't flip over, but these two came out together, so we're going to take them together. Well. On the bottom of the deck, the overall energy of this reading, the World. This is the final card of the Major Arcana. This represents the 4 fixed signs of the zodiac: Leo, Taurus, Aquarius, and Scorpio. It also represents the ending of a cycle and at the same time the beginning of the next cycle. So like that saying, when one door closes, another one opens. That's kind of what the World is about. Something coming to an end, something else beginning. Right behind that, I get the Moon. This is Pisces energy. This can sometimes be fear, worry, and anxiety from uncertainty. So if you think about when the moon's out, it's dark outside. It's hard to see your own hand in front of your face, let alone the path that you're on and seeing the full path. So this can be one of those spots where I can't tell if this is the right path for me or not. Was this the right path for me to begin with? Did I make a wrong turn somewhere? Should I go back the other way? So like that level of uncertainty can cause fear, worry, and anxiety in a person. The other thing the moon can mean is something being hidden in the dark from you, some secret being kept. So it could be that we have some uncertainty about an ending and a new beginning, uncertainty about what comes after this ending and this new beginning. It could be there is some secret that led to an ending and a new beginning. And son of a biscuit, right behind the moon, I get the 9 of Swords. This is Gemini energy. It's about fear, worry, and anxiety. There's 2 cards in the tarot deck that mean that, and I have both of them right back to back here in the overall energy. This is about thinking about something over and over again on this repeating loop where I'm just grinding on something, and it's like I have all the fear and worry behind how I'm thinking about something. And I'm doing that to the point where I'm starting to get stressed out about it. This is a card of sleepless nights. Can't concentrate on what I'm doing. At its core, it's like mental anguish with all this fear and worry behind the thinking. Well, not looking like it's going to be pleasant so far, even with what I'm seeing in both of your guys' energy, which is crazy. I literally just got flamed by some lady who watched my Taurus reading, complaining about how your readings are always so negative. And I tried to explain to her that I'm reading for people who are having relationship problems, and that's why they're watching a tarot love reading, is to find out what's going on with their relationship. Not because they have the happily ever after already. If they did, they wouldn't be watching a tarot love reading. So please don't flame me in the comments. I'm just here trying to get people the truth so they can get some clarity about what's really going on and then be able to make the decisions that are in their own best interest. I actually just published a video about this like last week, but apparently some people missed it. That's the overall energy of the reading. The gist of what this is probably going to talk to me about. This mutual point of interest is shared energy that affects both of you in some way here in November 2025, Cancer. It's not always going to affect you both the same way. Sometimes this person will do this and you'll feel the consequences of it. Sometimes they'll say or do something and it makes you feel or act this way, or vice versa. Sometimes it can be something external that's having an impact on both of you. But that shared energy between the two of you in November is the 9 of Cups. This is Pisces energy. This is a step backwards from the Ten of Cups. And the Ten of Cups is where we're both together and we're both pouring our love into each other, and it's equal, and you love them and they love you and everybody's happy, and it's like the happily ever after happy fairy tale romance card. This is a step backwards from that. This is a singles energy. This is supposed to be about emotional independence. In other words, I don't need this external person to show up and make me happy. I don't need this external person to show up and make me whole, because my happiness comes from inside of me, not outside of me. I already am whole. This is about being happy and content in and of myself. That's the positive aspect of it. The negative aspect of it can be like, I'm emotionally single right now because we had an ending to a cycle and a new beginning, and could be that there's a lot of fear, worry, and anxiety and stress and uncertainty around that. And the other thing that could be negative about the Nine of Cups is that this is personal happiness and wish fulfillment. In other words, it could be a case where my personal happiness is more important than your personal happiness, and what I want is more important than what's best for us. So I'm going to clarify this and see what this is trying to tell me. Again, not a good sign. I picked the deck up and Five of Swords is on the bottom, and getting ahead of myself, but Five of Swords is also your first card. Let's see what's going on with this Nine of Cups. Why is that the shared energy affecting Cancer and their person? Okay, let's see. What do we have here? Also, please keep in mind, you're not seeing me turn this deck face up and flip through it and pick out cards that I, quote, want to tell a negative story with. You watch me. I shuffle cards. Cards jump out and I tell you what they mean. And I'm using the traditional historical meanings of the cards. I'm not making up new meanings. I'm not twisting things around to be like some fairy tale. I'm just telling you what cards come out and what they mean. So don't shoot the messenger. What's below the surface of this Nine of Cups energy? Nine of Wands. This is Sagittarius energy of being walled off and defensive about something. Now, this is also an energy of healing. This is the wounded warrior, and he's been hurt. He's got a bandage on his head, and he's built this wall around himself as a way to protect himself from getting hurt. He doesn't want to get hurt anymore. He's trying to heal so he can get his energy right and take the next step in his journey. Now, this can represent one of you has been hurt and the walls have come up. This can represent a barrier that's in the way. What's behind that is the Page of Cups. So pages are messengers and cups are love and emotion. So this is news, messages, communications about love, emotions, expressing feelings. Can be flirtatious behavior. Can be the early stages of some love thing where we're kind of talking about it at this point. Can sometimes represent an apology, but it can also sometimes represent sleight of hand and deception, because he's got a fish in his cup, and that fish can be like, hey, look over here and don't pay attention to me because I don't want you to see what's going on. I'm trying to slide something past you. That could be it. I have the Fool right behind that. Now, this is the first card of the Major Arcana, card 0. This is the beginning of the entire tarot deck. So it represents a new beginning at something. Usually it's a new beginning where I don't really know what the end result is going to be. I don't even know what the steps are. I'm just going to leap off this cliff and I'm going to take the blind leap of faith, and I will worry about it on my way down. Like, I'll figure this out as I go along. Now, this can represent foolish behavior, taking unnecessary risks outside of the connection, just displaying foolishness. Now, I have the final card and the first card of the Major Arcana here. This represents a completed cycle between the two of you. From beginning to end, after the World, you start back over at the Fool on a brand new beginning again. Looking like we got someone hurt, we got something in the way. It's possible because this is what's below the surface of this personal happiness, personal wish fulfillment kind of an energy. Could be that that itself is the barrier here. When I clarify Nine of Cups, I get the Hermit, the Three of Swords, and the Ace of Pentacles. The Hermit is the Virgo Major Arcana card. This is a card of withdrawal, isolation, Sometimes this means communication has shut down between the two of you. And if it hasn't shut down entirely, it could be very dramatically different than it used to be, like fewer and farther between. This is a card of being forced inside yourself to do soul searching, deep inner reflection, deep contemplation. At its core, it's about trying to figure out what to do moving forward, but it's about where the focus is placed. And the hermit looks down inside the shadows of himself, and he's looking inside of himself, trying to figure out what adjustments do I need to make about me so I can move forward the way I want to. Now, I do get this card a lot when someone gets ghosted and the other person just abruptly leaves. I get this card a lot when there's no closure in an ending to something, possibly because something's been kept secret, been kept hidden. There's a barrier in the way. Maybe there's no communication. Could be that I have all this happiness attached to the connection, maybe attached to this person, and I don't really know what happened here. Central to the clarifiers of that Nine of Cups is the Three of Swords, Libra energy of heartbreak and sadness, usually from a third energy. Now, the third energy is not always a romantic third party, although it definitely can be that. That third energy can be a lot of things. It's something that's not directly you, not directly your person, but something else. So working too much could be the third energy. Geographic distance can be the third energy. This barrier that's in the way between the two of you can be the third energy. There's something here causing heartbreak and sadness. And it's looking like requiring some soul searching to figure out what to do moving forward. Like the hermit is not a voluntary energy most of the time. This is usually a case where something happens and it forces us inside ourselves to do soul searching. Final clarifier for this Nine of Cups is the Ace of Pentacles. This is a new physical, tangible, real-world opportunity presenting itself. It's not an idea or a concept. It's a physical thing that I can touch. And there's some sort of an opportunity physically that has heartbreak and sadness attached to it. And it's all connected to this personal happiness or someone acting as if they're single emotionally when maybe they're not. Maybe someone had a new opportunity and decided to become single. At the early stages of these readings, it's not uncommon at all that I don't fully understand exactly what this shared energy is trying to tell me. I will come back to this as I go through your energy, Cancer, because then I can see how it applies to you. I'll come back to it again when I go through your person's energy, because then I can see how it applies to them. That's the shared energy. Your energy in this connection, your first card is the most important. You get the Five of Swords. Central to your energy, Six of Swords. And the final card for you, Cancer, is the Ten of Pentacles. Now again, I just got to remind you, you watched me get these cards out. I shuffled, cards jumped out, and now I'm going to tell you what they mean. I did not flip the deck right side up and hand select the Five of Swords as your first card. This is Aquarius energy. Fives are conflict. This can be a big fight that ends things. This can be betrayal. This can be dealing with a person who has this winning at all costs mentality. In other words, collateral damage is fine with them. As long as they get what they want, that's all that matters. If you happen to get hurt in the process, well, sorry about your luck. I'm taking care of my own personal happiness. With that being the shared energy here, good possibility that's what we're talking about. Tell me about this Five of Swords, please. Why is that the first card here in Cancer's energy in November 2025? What's below the surface of this Five of Swords? Seven of Pentacles, Taurus energy. This is a period of time for one of two reasons. The first reason is this can be a period of time where you are pausing to reflect on this connection, to take stock of the connection, this whole situation you're finding yourself in. And it's about trying to decide if the seeds that we've planted here are actually ever going to grow into the Ten of Pentacles that I really want. I got the Ten of Pentacles as your final card, getting ahead of myself, but I got the Ten of Pentacles again from the second deck as the final clarifier here. So is this ever going to turn into what I really want, or is this a spot where maybe it's not going to pan out and maybe I should cut my losses and move on? The other thing that this can represent as a period of time is where seeds have already been planted on something. And it's kind of like if you plant an apple seed right now, you're not going to wake up in the morning with apples. There's there's a big lag time from when you plant seeds on something until it fully grows and develops and blossoms and ripens, and then you can harvest it. So this represents that lag time. So this could be underlying betrayal, because something related to that, something related to betrayal, has kind of been brewing in the background for a while. I got the Knight of Pentacles right behind that, slowest knight in the deck. This is Virgo energy. This can be that slow drip. This is usually a really frustrating energy where I wanted this thing like yesterday, but instead of getting the speed I want, I'm getting the snail's pace here. So it can be really monotonous, make you want to pull your hair out because I wanted it way faster than this. This can be one of those energies where from where you sit, it looks like nothing's moving. This can also represent a person who knows what they're supposed to do and doesn't do it, or they know what they're not supposed to do and they do it anyway. He's got the Ace of Pentacles in his hand, which is out here in the shared energy, affecting you both. He's got that Ace of Pentacles, the seed of abundance, but the fields in the background are empty because he hasn't planted the seed that he knows he's supposed to plant. And likewise, he's just sitting on his ass and he knows he's not supposed to be doing that, but he's doing it anyway. You can't make this up. I was just getting ready to tie that back to the Five of Swords when I felt like I should look one deeper, and there's the Five of Swords again. This is either big fight happening, or this is looking like betrayal has been brewing in the background. At its core, Five of Swords is a mentally and psychologically painful situation or event. When I clarify the Five of Swords, Ace of Swords, Page of Swords, Judgment, Ten of Pentacles. Swords are not what I want to see in a relationship reading. I've got a sword here in the shared energy. Your first two cards are swords, and 3 cards deep, we got another Five of Swords here. Your first two clarifiers for the Five of Swords are both swords. So we got problem here. This is not me making up a negative story because I want to tell you a negative story. I don't. I want you to have a happy life, which is why I got to give you the truth of what I see. Ace of Swords is the sword of truth. It's the sword of clarity. It's the sword you use to make decisions with. The Latin word that the word decision comes from literally means to cut off. So this would be about cutting off other options until there's only one left, and now that's the decision. This can also represent the sword you would use to cut something or someone out of your life. It's tied to the idea of betrayal. Next, I have the Page of Swords, and this is an energy of someone who's trying to learn something or figure something out. This can be an energy of spying, snooping around, researching, investigating, digging for information, asking questions. Sometimes this is you accidentally uncovering the truth that points to betrayal, makes heartbreak and sadness happen. Sometimes this is some external person that sees something and reports it to you, like technically what I'm doing right now qualifies as the Page of Swords because I'm being nosy and snooping around in your energy, trying to tell you the truth about what's going on here, trying to help you figure out what's going on. Next, to clarify the Five of Swords is Judgment, the most powerful decision card in the deck. This is about passing a final verdict in judgment on a situation. In a relationship reading, this is one of two things. First, it can be, this is dead and over with, and there is no coming back from it. The other thing it can represent is resurrection, bringing the dead back to life, trying to resurrect this connection, trying to figure out, is it dead and over with, or can we resurrect it? Looking to me like judgment has been passed based on some truth that you uncovered one way or another that points to betrayal, and it's probably been brewing in the background, but this is also probably you trying to contemplate whether or not I should continue investing my time, effort, and energy in this, or if I should cut my losses, call this thing dead and over with, and move on. It's looking like this Ten of Pentacles might be keeping you from making that decision. Ten of Pentacles is Virgo energy. This is most people's goal in terms of the physical world. This is maximum stability, abundance, and prosperity. It can be the combining together of two people or two families and all their assets and resources to build a life together. So this is usually building a life together, combining lives together. I get this a lot for people if they're married or if they're like engaged or living together or working on that idea of combining our lives together. Central for you, Cancer, is the Six of Swords, which is the card that comes right after the Five of Swords that we've seen twice already. This is also Aquarius energy. This is an energy of moving forward into calmer waters. It's about leaving the rough, choppy waters of the past behind you and moving forward into the future. There are some implications that come with this card. First, it's the card that comes after the Five of Swords, which implies this painful thing has already happened. Because it's already happened, there's nothing I can do to change it now. It's already happened. So what your real power is in this card is in what you do moving forward. I've got the Hermit out here about trying to figure out what to do moving forward. It also implies that because this painful thing has already happened and now I'm moving forward, it implies that I have a choice here. Do I carry the burden that this painful thing has caused me forward into my future with me so it continues to weigh me down and hold me back? Or do I carry forward the lesson I learned by going through this painful thing and carry that lesson forward so that something like this doesn't happen to me again? At its core, this is an energy of moving away from something painful and moving into the future. Tell me about this Six of Swords. Why is that the central energy for Cancer in this connection in November 2025, please? Okay, let's see what we have here. What's below the surface of this Six of Swords? The Fool. Again, first card of the entire tarot deck, new beginning at something. It's the card that would come after the final card. You know, like, again, completed cycle between the two of you. That's probably why you're moving forward and leaving something behind, or at least you should be. Something has ended, and this is the new beginning. It can be foolish decision making, risky behavior, taking risks outside of the connection. There's the Nine of Wands again. We've already seen that Sagittarius energy. This is either a barrier that's in the way of you taking a blind leap of faith into a new beginning, or this is talking about someone else took a blind leap of faith into a new beginning and put something in between the two of you, probably hurt you, and I don't want to be hurt again. Maybe I'm trying to move away from this betrayal. How they hurt you is clear. I mean, there's the Page of Cups again. Communications about love and emotions, flirty behavior. Man, oh man, oh man. When I clarify Six of Swords, I get Nine of Cups again. The Lovers and the Star. Nine of Cups, we've already seen that. That's out here as the shared energy affecting both of you. Pisces energy, personal happiness, personal wish fulfillment, single energy. It's sitting right beside the Sword of Truth, or the sword that would be used to cut something or someone out of your life. The Lovers is the Gemini major arcana card. This is probably something that at a certain point felt like a powerful love connection to you. I do have to be clear, this card does not mean twin flames or soulmates or any of that stuff that you hear so many readers tell you about. Twin flames aren't even real. It was made up in 1973 by Elizabeth Clare Prophet, who was literally a doomsday cult leader. The whole thing it's negative, it's toxic, it's made up, and it was designed to control people and manipulate people. The real meaning of this card is before it was called the Lovers, it used to be called the Choice, and it represents the interconnectedness between people, not just in relationships. That's just a small part of it. Interconnectedness between all of humanity. We're all on this planet together, and our decisions affect each other. This is The decisions that this person makes are going to affect you and vice versa. This can represent a choice about this love connection, about whether I'm going to move away from it or whether I'm going to continue to have all of my personal happiness attached to it. It can even represent a choice between more than one lover, especially when it's attached to personal happiness and wish fulfillment, and that personal happiness and wish fulfillment is the central energy. I do have heartbreak and sadness from a third energy and a new physical opportunity presenting itself. That physical opportunity, well, another human being is a physical thing, and yes, I can touch another human being even if I'm in a connection with you already. So it's looking like what we got going on. The Lovers is connected directly to the Page of Swords, but notice I'm looking in the wrong direction here, and this other lover thing is behind my back, and maybe I don't see it, which is probably why this ending and this new beginning happening at the same time has the moon behind it, meaning I don't see something. Something is being hidden in the dark. A secret is being kept. This is feeling debatable about whether or not I'm actually leaving this connection behind and moving forward, or if this is more about, let's take this painful thing that happened and let's leave that in the past and move forward together anyway, because I've got all these strong feelings attached to it. And having the star next, this is the Aquarius Major Arcana card. This is a card of hope. It's a card of healing. It's also the card that comes immediately after the Tower in the Major Arcana sequence. So you don't make it to the star without the Tower collapsing first. And that's when everything comes crashing down. Nothing's the same after the Tower falls apart. Tower in a relationship reading is usually the collapse of the relationship, or can even be the collapse of the belief system I had about the relationship. Like the way I believed this was, I believed we were meant for each other. I had all my happiness tied to it, but something could have happened to collapse that. This is usually the hope that we can heal it. The Tower represents the collapse of the old. The star is supposed to represent the hope for the new. It looks like a hope tied to this connection or a choice about the connection. Maybe you're looking to take a blind leap of faith and keep hope alive in this. It is attached to judgment here. So like I said, this could be that this is dead and over with and there's no coming back, but I'm still hoping that it will come back anyway. The Judgment card can also represent resurrection, like bringing the connection back from the dead and healing it. It could represent the hope for that. Hope is one of those tricky things where sometimes hope is the only thing that gets us through, and we need hope. Like it's vital for us to make it through something. But sometimes misplaced hope, misguided hope, pathological hope, hope for something that's never actually going to happen, that doesn't get us through anymore. It becomes the chain around our neck that stops us from moving forward. So far, I read these in columns and then I connect it in rows as I go. And so far, the one card that has nothing to go with it is this idea of a combined together life and building a life together. And there's a void in the information, and the only thing above it is hope. Final card for you, Cancer, is that Ten of Pentacles that I just showed you. Maximum stability, abundance, and prosperity. Combined together life, building a life together. Why is that the final card for Cancer, please? Tell me more about this Ten of Pentacles. Well, it's abundantly clear what is happening here. Abundantly clear. What's below the surface of the Ten of Pentacles? Knight of Pentacles. Slowest knight in the deck. Could look like no progress is happening, looks like nothing's moving from where you sit. Looking like you probably want this combined together life like yesterday, but you're getting the slow drip instead of what you want. Now, this can also represent your person knowing what they're supposed to do and not doing it, or knowing what they're not supposed to do and doing it anyway. Could also represent an element of you knowing that I'm supposed to be leaving this behind and moving forward, and potentially not doing that for some reason. It could be that, but this is also for certain your person doing stuff they're not supposed to do. I got Queen of Wands right behind that. This is Aries or Leo energy, depending on how you view the court cards. This is a bold, passionate, fiery, determined person who knows exactly what she wants. She doesn't take no for an answer. Very driven, motivated. It's really high up the totem pole in the wand suit, which is about passion, desire, sexual energy. This would be the fire element queen, the hot queen. In other words, the one that there's all this attraction and desire and passion for, sexual energy toward. 99% of the time, that represents the other woman. I do have heartbreak and sadness from a third energy, and a new physical opportunity presenting itself. And smack dab in the center of your energy is the Lovers, which could be a choice between two lovers. Yeah, and then I got Knight of Swords. This is the fastest moving knight in the deck. Very stark contrast to the slowest moving knight in the deck with that Knight of Pentacles. This is someone who rushes forward and takes this decisive action on something that they didn't think about first. This is like, I just went and did it, and I didn't think first. I didn't think about it until after I already did it, at which point it could be too late. So this is usually spur of the moment, impulsive, reckless decision making. Now, when I clarify this 10 of Pentacles, Ace of Wands, 5 of Pentacles, and the Moon again. Ace of Wands is a passionate new beginning, a new beginning in passion and desire. I've got the ending of a cycle and the beginning of a new one. I've seen the Fool twice. Legitimate new beginning. I have a new beginning as in new physical opportunity here, and now I've got the same thing in the passion desire sense, where we literally just took a look at the woman that there's all this passion and desire for. This wand is also the phallic symbol of the tarot deck. So it represents the male you-know-what and using it to do you-know-what and sexual energy and all that. There's, in this top row, there are 2 aces here. Aces are new beginnings, new opportunities for something. And in the middle of those 2 aces is the 9 of Cups. Personal happiness and wish fulfillment, which is also the shared energy. Now, this could be telling me that in spite of the truth, I still have all my happiness attached to this connection, this person. I still want to re-spark this connection because it's all fizzled out now and I want to fire it back up. But this could just as easily be telling me that your person's personal happiness is tied to the wand and the passion and desire end of things. Next clarifier for the 10 of Pentacles is the 5 of Pentacles, Taurus energy. 5s are conflict. This is abandonment. It's being cast aside, being left out in the cold, being discarded, walked away from. This is a breakup energy. It's sometimes an energy of someone making you feel like you're not good enough for some reason. I'm clarifying the 10 of Pentacles, and notice the 5 of Pentacles is half of that. When you have a combined together life, whether that's being married or just living together, and you split up, you don't get to take all 10 Pentacles with you. You only get to take your half of it. I do have this idea of seeing something or figuring something out, snooping around potentially, a choice between more than one lover, and now a breakup, abandonment happening. Final clarifier for the 10 of Pentacles is the Moon. We already saw that 2 cards deep in the overall energy. Yeah, it can be fear, worry, and anxiety from uncertainty about this combined together life, uncertainty about what am I going to do now that we've broken up, uncertainty about can we heal this or not, uncertainty about is this dead and over with or can we bring it back. It can also represent something being hidden in the dark and a secret being kept from you. It could be something about hope that you don't see. And in that case, it would look like what you're not seeing is that it's dead and over with. It doesn't really matter that there is this combined together life here because it has absolutely nothing to go with it to finish the row out. We just have hope above it and a secret being kept above it or something that you don't see. That's your energy, Cancer. Let's take a look at your person's energy. First card for them is the most important. They get the Empress. Central for them is that Five of Pentacles again. And their final card is the Knight of Wands and the King of Wands. Both came out together in that final spot. That doesn't look any better. This Empress is the mother of the tarot deck. She's always pregnant. She's always giving birth to something. In this particular deck, she's literally holding a brand new baby that she just gave birth to. In a relationship reading, the Empress represents the birth of something new, as in the birth of a new relationship. Now, at times, it can represent trying to rebirth a relationship that has kind of died, but I think that might be more what you're hoping for and less what this is telling me. Let's see what's going on with the Empress. Why is that the first card for Cancer's person of interest in November 2025, please? Yeah. What's underlying this Empress energy? Wow, this one's starting to drain me a little bit again. It's been happening quite a bit these past several readings. Nine of Wands is below the surface of the Empress. That birth of something new, birth of a new connection, is the barrier that's in your way. That's probably also the thing that hurt you here. Yes, death is right behind it. Scorpio Major Arcana energy. This is an ending to something. It's something dying, and a painful transition period follows that ending. A painful transformation follows that ending. I got the Sun right behind it. Now, that's a Leo Major Arcana card. This card has two meanings. The first meaning is this is the happiest card in the whole tarot deck. Happiness, joy, bliss, harmony. Really hard to get a better card in a love reading when that's what it's talking about. That's not what this is talking about by any stretch of the imagination. So the other meaning to the Sun is it's the card that comes right after the Moon, which was your final clarifier. So when the moon's out and it's dark outside and something's being hidden from you, there's a secret being kept, the next step is the Sun comes up and it's not dark anymore. So then it represents illumination, the light getting shined into the darkness, exposing something and allowing me to see it. What gets exposed is the Fool, the foolish behavior, the unnecessary risks being taken outside the connection, the blind leap of faith on a new beginning. Again, overall energy, ending of one cycle, beginning of the next cycle. And either you don't see the beginning of the next cycle, which is possible with this, everything I just said about the birth of something new, or maybe you don't see that it's over here. Got all the fear, worry, and anxiety and stress about that. Well, when I clarify the Empress, here I am trying to yawn again. This one's sucking it out of me here. When I clarify the Empress, I get the Two of Swords, Strength, the Ten of Swords, and the Four of Swords. So here we are with the sword, sword, sword pattern again. Two of Swords is Libra energy. Twos are decisions. This is a decision that needs to be made, only it hasn't been made yet. The blindfold on the person can represent that I don't have enough information to be able to make this decision yet, which is why I haven't made it. It can also represent blinders that someone has on. In other words, there's something about this situation that I don't want to see. I don't want to look at it. I don't want it to be true. And avoiding it can be preventing the decision from getting made. In that same first row, I've got the Sword of Truth here. Now, granted, the truth is there's a betrayal, or at the minimum, a mentally and psychologically painful thing happening here. And of course, you don't want that to be true. I don't want that to be true for you. And as weird as this sounds, for someone who makes their living doing tarot readings for people, there's not a day that goes by where I don't wish that every damn reading that I do doesn't resonate with anybody, because who wants to be in this situation? The next clarifier for the Empress is the Strength card. This is the Leo Major Arcana card, just like the Sun is. This is about going through a very difficult situation that is really hard to make it through. It's about being forced to dig down deep inside yourself to find the internal strength to make it through. It's about having the strength to make it through. It's just being forced to dig down in there and find it. Now, it can also, and it probably does in this case because it's in your person's energy, someone who's trying to tame this beast inside themselves. They're trying to rein their urges and their desires and their impulses. They're trying to rein all that stuff in and contain it so they don't make some kind of a mistake. The lady in the white gown represents their conscience, like their ability to tell right from wrong, and trying to contain this piece of them that probably wants to birth something new and now has a decision to make between you and that Queen of Wands we saw, the other lover that we're seeing here in the center of your energy, this third energy that's involved, this new physical opportunity that's in the shared energy. I think this is them struggling to contain that part of themselves and failing at that. Next, we have the Ten of Swords, Gemini energy of a swift, painful ending. Sometimes this is an ending you don't see coming, which is why the swords are in your back. Sometimes this is an ending in betrayal, hence getting stabbed in the back. Again, your very first card, the most important one for you, Cancer, is a card that indicates betrayal. Final clarifier for this Empress energy is the Four of Swords. This is Libra energy. Goodness, excuse me again. This is about taking a pause, taking a rest, taking a break. It's about going inside yourself to do some healing or to do some thinking about something. I get this card a lot when someone is in their head way too much and there's too much mental noise, too much mental chatter. And this is about like, shh, calm down, stop thinking so much, and then you'll be able to figure out what to do about this ending. Sometimes people will have a breakup like I'm seeing here with this Five of Pentacles in your final column that comes after this passionate new beginning and before this secret that's being kept. Getting ahead of myself, but that Five of Pentacles breakup is the next card for your person. Sometimes people don't want to call it a breakup even when it's completely dead and over with. They'll just say, we're on a break right now, or let's take some time to figure this out. Could be what this is. It could be we have an actual ending to this, as in your person passed a final verdict in judgment and called it dead and over with, and they're telling you that we're on a break, which is probably why I see this hope tied to the connection, tied to the judgment. But what you don't see is the moon. Like here in this middle, the second row for you, I got you trying to figure something out. But this choice between lovers is happening behind your back. And here, I've got the hope that you have, but notice the person has their back to this moon. It's something happening behind your back, something that's being kept hidden from you that you don't know about. Where if you did know about it, I'm not even sure the hope card would even be here anymore. Central for your person is that Five of Pentacles, Taurus energy, abandonment, breakup. Tell me about Five of Pentacles. Why is that central for Cancer's person of interest here in November 2025? Let's get two more. What's below the surface of this breakup? Knight of Pentacles. Again, slowest knight in the deck. A person who knows what they're supposed to do but doesn't. Oh, I'm so sorry, I keep yawning. Someone who knows what they're not supposed to do, does it anyway. Very slow, monotonous, frustrating energy. If you're waiting on this to get back together, waiting on the hope to heal this, waiting on an opportunity for that, it doesn't look like anything's moving from where you sit. Seven of Pentacles, the very slow moving energy, and then a period of time. This is looking like a period of time where they had already planted the seeds on this birth of something new. and you just didn't know yet. It's been brewing in the background. Yeah, Knight of Swords is behind it. They already took the action on this. Probably didn't think it through very well first. Probably impulsive and reckless decision making. But they've already done it at this stage. When I clarify the breakup here, I get the Two of Cups, Seven of Cups, and the Fool. This Two of Cups is Cancer energy. It's the minor arcana version of the Lover's card. It's a 2. So now this is an emotional connection between two people, but it's a 2, and 2s are choices. So this is either a choice about your connection together, or this is a choice between more than one person. What's sitting right beside it? Two of Swords. The decision that they need to make, only they're not making it. Which makes a lot of sense. If I have you, and I'm getting benefits from being with you, and now I've started this new passionate beginning, and I have a new opportunity, and now there's another person involved, and I have to choose between the two of you, I don't really have to choose as long as you don't know about it. I'm only put in a spot where I have to choose if you find out. Damn. In that second row, your very first card is the energy of someone who's trying to learn something or figure something out. Spying, snooping, investigating, digging for information, kind of an energy. And then I get Seven of Cups over here, underlying or connected to this breakup. This is Scorpio energy. This is options and choices and confusion about my options and choices. We just talked about the choice between two people. We talked about the choice that I have to make that I'm not making it. There's all the options. The clouds of smoke here can represent their emotions are clouding their judgment, clouding their decision making. It can represent intoxication clouding their decision making. But it can also represent a smoke screen that this person is blowing because they're trying to prevent you from seeing this other connection. They're trying to prevent you from being able to figure out that there is a choice between lovers. And see, the final card in that row is the Five of Pentacles, the breakup. And I'm in the column that's led with the Five of Pentacles on this side. So I don't want you to see, because then I don't have a choice that I can avoid anymore. The choice will be made for me. Final card to clarify that Five of Pentacles is the Fool. Again, new beginning. Taking a blind leap of faith on something. It's the card that comes after this the World card. Ending of a cycle, beginning of a new cycle. And something is being kept secret here. I'm blowing a smoke screen so you can't see that I've already started a new beginning. It's sitting right beside this is dead and over with here. Like 10 swords are in it. You're not going to the hospital and getting a couple of stitches and coming back to work later today. This is dead. And it got to that spot because this person took the blind leap of faith and probably risky decision making here. Risks in another connection. The card so far that has nothing to go with it is this card that can represent being on a break, being on a pause. Maybe you guys took some time apart, and during that time apart, this happened. Entirely possible. Final card for your person, Cancer, came out as 2. Knight of Wands, King of Wands. Both really high up in that wand suit. Passion, desire, sexual energy. We did see the Queen of Wands when I was clarifying this final column for you. Knight of Wands is that card that gets referred to a lot of times as the player of the tarot deck. It can be that person who's in and out and back and forth and wishy-washy, and they come in and tell you everything you want to hear to get what they want, but then they rush off somewhere else passionately, playing two different people. At the minimum, this can be someone who's not fully committed to what they said they wanted, where 1 minute they're super gung-ho about it and the next minute they're going some completely opposite direction. And with that is the King of Wands. Bold, passionate, fiery, determined person, Leo energy. This is someone who knows exactly what they want. They're not going to take no for an answer. I'm going to find a way to get what I want, or I'm going to make a way to get what I want. It's also the top tier of that wand suit. It's in right here, that wand, the passion, desire end of things. This is someone who's very driven and motivated by passion, desire, and sexual energy. I got two really high passion, desire type cards here. Tell me about Knight of Wands, King of Wands. Why is that the final card for Cancer's person, please? Okay, we're getting all kinds of extra ones here. Come here, line up for me. There we go. What's below the surface of Knight of Wands, King of Wands? The Sun, Leo energy. Again, happiest card in the deck. Now, could be that they have all of their happiness tied to this passion, desire, being able to, go after what I have passion and desire for, being able to run back and forth between both of you. Could be why I've got the choice between two different people, and I'm not willing to make that choice. I'm just going to keep things obscured so you can't see it. I'm going to keep things hidden. I don't really necessarily want everything to be over and go full force into this new beginning. I'd rather just keep it a secret. But then at the same time, there's the fear, worry, and anxiety that I'm going to get found out, that this is going to get illuminated. Could also be that what's getting the light shined on it, what's getting illuminated, is that this person is all about their passion and desire, and they're thinking with the wrong head, with their wand instead of their mind, that their personal jollies, their personal happiness is the most important thing. There's definitely a third energy here and a new physical opportunity here. Yeah, what's right behind the happiness is death, Scorpio major arcana. Ending that has a painful transition period or a painful transformation period attached to it. If there was any debate about whether judgment was it's dead and over with or resurrection, it's dead and over with. I know you're probably hoping for resurrection, at least that's what it looks like here, but I've got the 10 of Swords in their energy. That's a dead person on the card. And I've got the Death card here, right behind what would represent the happiness, which we did see the Sun on your side when I clarified it was below the surface here. And there's that 9 of Wands again. The barrier that's in the way is that you need to see that this is dead, I think. When I clarify Knight of Wands, King of Wands, I get Queen of Cups, the Magician, the Hanged Man, 2 of Pentacles, 8 of Wands. Queen of Cups is Cancer energy. This is the person that they get love and emotions from. Now, recall, we saw Queen of Wands in the underlying energy. That's the person they get the passion, desire, sexual energy from, the one they have the attraction for. That's why there's a choice between two different people that they're not making. They get love from you. The Queen of Cups is the most intuitive queen, so it'll feel like your intuition has already told you what's going on. You even got the Moon in your energy. One of the 2 most powerful intuition cards. The only one really more powerful than that is the High Priestess, which I haven't seen. Queen of Cups also is the only character with a lid on top of her cup, and that's a way to protect herself from getting her emotions contaminated. She doesn't want to be hurt emotionally, which tells me that you have been hurt emotionally, hence the lid being on the cup. Next, I get the Magician, the Master Manifester of the deck. This is the person whose thoughts and actions have created the whole situation that I'm reading about. They're trying to manifest with their wand and the passion, desire end of things. That's where their happiness is. That's where their personal happiness is. They're also creating a situation where everything's all clouded up for you. 7 cups means a lot of emotions involved. It's also a very illusion-based energy where not only am I not able to figure out which cup I should pick, and I don't want to make a mistake and pick the wrong one, it can mean that I don't even know which of these options is real and which one isn't. Is this hope that I have real? Can we actually resurrect this? Is this really a spot where there's another person involved? Did they really betray me? I got the moon out here. There's stuff you don't actually know for certain yet. And I think they are creating it that way on purpose. Then I get the Hanged Man. Got it upside down here. This is the Pisces Major Arcana card. Progress being halted, no forward movement happening. It's stuck and it ain't going anywhere. And they've created it that way. It's in the row with the Ten of Swords. This is dead. And I already took the blind leap of faith on some new beginning. Maybe because this isn't going anywhere. The reason it's hard to tell if that's true or not is because the reason the Hanged Man hangs upside down is because he's trying to look at things from a different point of view. We've got the Hermit in the shared energy, and both of these are really similar energies in the sense that they're both about trying to figure out, what do I do moving forward from here? The key difference is in where their focus is placed. The Hermit is looking down inside of himself for, what adjustments do I make to me so I can move forward the way I want to. The Hanged Man is looking at things from a different perspective, and things are outside of us. So this is someone who's not looking inside themselves at their role in the situation. They're looking outside of themselves for, what out here has me stuck? What out here is to blame? How is this your fault and not my fault? Again, first card for you is potentially dealing with someone who has this winning at all costs mentality. This is the helpless victim. This is the blame game. It's not my fault that I was running around between you and some other person. It's not my fault that I was thinking with the wrong head and following my wand instead of my brain or my heart. It's not my fault that I brought a third energy in here and had a choice between two different people and birthed a new connection. This is your fault that that happened. It's some BS story like that where it's not them from their point of view. It's something else's fault. Then I get the Two of Pentacles, which is another choice card. I've got 3 twos in their energy over here. This is a choice between two physical things, and they can't have both of them at the same time. Well, they already have you, and here's the new opportunity that shows up. And now I got to choose between the two, but I'm 1 foot in, 1 foot out, not committed either direction. And this can also represent juggling 2 different people. It's in the row with being on a pause, being on a break, and I'm juggling 2 people. And in between those 2 cards is a void. There's an empty spot in the information, which is probably why you don't know anything. The only thing above where that empty spot is the Fool, taking foolish, unnecessary risks outside the connection. Final card to clarify Knight of Wands, King of Wands is the 8 of Wands. So we got a lot of passion and desire here. Very fast, forward-moving energy. A whole lot of passion and desire. There's literally, like, we got the phallic symbol of the deck here on your side. Well, there's 8 of those flying through the air here. So this can be rapid back and forth, passionate communications happening. This can represent travel. This can represent forward movement very quickly related to passion and desire. It can also just be so much happening all at once that it's overwhelming. This is not looking like a good spot for you, Cancer. Having the moon out here 2 different ways, that is almost certainly something is being hidden from you. Some secret is being kept. I'm surprised as hell that I didn't see the 7 of Swords in here. But I did see 3 of Swords, 5 of Swords. There's definitely a betrayal, the birth of a new beginning, choice between 2 different physical things, 2 different people. A lot of options and choices, and probably blowing a smoke screen to stop you from seeing the foolish stuff that they're doing. Like I said, I wish that this would have been a nice, happy, awesome reading that tells you everything that you want to hear, but you watched me do it. I shuffled, cards jumped out, I told you what they mean. I used the traditional meanings. If you look those up online, you can go to any number of websites. Hell, you could go to 10 different websites and you'll see that I use the real meanings of the cards. I'm not twisting it around. I'm not trying to tell you stories that are negative on purpose. Just keep in mind that people come to me not when things are going great. They don't come to find me until things are not going great and they need clarity on what's happening.